I've created my professional learning for blended learning aimed towards teachers, but also open to administrators or other staff that work in education for Tomball Independent School District, which is the district that I'm fortunate to be employed in. I wanted to create this for all educators so that they can either create and implement a blended learning model into the learning in their classrooms, or support it in the case of potentially a paraprofessional or somebody that works with kids in some aspect could come in and support it as well. So that is my intended audience. When I considered the design of my audience, I relied pretty heavily on COVA, and making sure that there is choice, ownership, voice, and that there is a very authentic learning environment in that. In my design, the learners will actually be creating things that they will implement, and there should be a fair amount of feed forward, not only from myself and hopefully the other digital learning coaches in my district. I'm assuming that they would be on board with this because we do promote blended learning as it is, um, but also so that the teachers have a real differentiated experience. They'll all be working in their own content areas and their own grade levels, and there will be a lot of collaboration with their teams. So, to start the design, I went back to the three column table that I had created in an earlier course and revamped a little since then. And so you can see that I have my learning goals, I have activities, and then I have the assessment. The assessment is primarily as assessment rather than for or of, because they are doing a lot of reflecting and they are doing a lot of collaborating. So, as you can see here, to kick it off, I have a book study that will occur over the spring break. I've given lengthy enough times, which you'll see a little bit when I pull up the outline, so that it's not too tight, because it is summer and we all need a break this summer. So it's pretty loose, about 4 chapters over the course of 2 weeks, which is not a whole lot to ask, with some reflection, and then we'll come back and meet again. We'll see this in the outline, so that we do have that aspect of as learning assessment. From there, we get into an application where they'll actually be building these out with peers, so more collaboration, more opportunity for reflection, more opportunity for feed forward in this design, and then they will begin on an implementation cycle, which consists of two integrations. Again, there is this continued reflection, this continued feed forward, and continued collaboration on their campuses with their peers, as well as support in the form of coaching, potentially modeling if needed, and then a little mini PD to build it up a little more part of the way through so that we can kind of add more of that authentic component to it. Because early on, I'm mostly focused on the choice, ownership, and voice. I figure it's important to build a little bit. And so after we've gone through one iteration of this, the plan is to build it up a little more and try and instill some of that authentic learning environment to the learning that's happening in the classrooms. So that's the summary of the three column table that I used to design the outline. Again, you can see that they have a wide option of choice in what units, what standards, even what model of blended learning they want to use. I'm not going to hold them accountable to one model. You can only do a station rotation, or you can only do a true individual rotation with a playlist or flipped learning or whatever it might be. I want them to be aware of the various models and perhaps create a hybrid of their own. So, a lot of choice, a lot of ownership because they're building it themselves. Their voices, obviously, in there, especially in the collaboration, and the feedback and the design on their own. And then we work towards that more authentic for the students, but the authenticity is really throughout the entire design because this is something they're actually taking and implementing. They're putting it in use and creating with that knowledge. So it's ongoing, it's cyclical. There's feed forward, there's reflection throughout. It is definitely outcome based, since they are building and refining this. We're looking for them to continue to grow, and implement what they're learning. Here's my outline here. So in this outline, I've got a section to get started, and you can see that it's going to be virtual, hard to meet with all the teachers in the district much of any other way. Plus, this is the end of the school year. I want to keep it short. I want to do something just kind of get them excited about blended learning. And so this is actually a link to the video that I created early on, which maybe I have it on one of these. It should be on my innovation plan page. It's this video right here, Blended Learning for All, which I created, and feel free to take a look at that if you would like. I'm not going to play it now because I don't want to take up too much time here. But we're going to start off with that video, talk about what it means a little bit, and then a little course overview where I will show them an outline, or syllabus, so to speak, and then give them information on the book that they're going to need. This first two chapters, obviously self-paced, how they're going to read. I will have a discussion board open. I'm not sure that I'm going to have a requirement, but I will have an expectation perhaps that they post at least one thought or one response each week to somebody else's thoughts on it. And then we will meet basically at the conclusion of the 2 weeks with just a half-hour virtual meeting where we'll do a breakout kind of jigsaw. There are several questions at the conclusions of the book is divided into parts, so there are various questions there. So we'll break out into groups. Each group will address one of the questions as assigned. Then we'll come back together and kind of flesh that out a little bit further and talk a little deeper about what our takeaways are. The next section, again, this is kind of repetitive. This is over the summer, so it's self-paced, same type of thing, same type of expectations. We come back, we talk about the next part of the book, same format, and then again, only this part required an extra week because the 4th of July is the holiday weekend that falls in there. I didn't want anybody to feel pressed or anybody on vacation to feel like they would have to give up time with their family in order to make this happen, which really, as slowly paced as it is over the summer, shouldn't be an issue. And then here, another virtual meeting, same type of thing. I will post the videos as we do here at Lamar. For those that can't make it, I don't have an expectation that everybody's going to make every one, especially over the summer. It's teachers' time. I can't expect to take too much of it, and that's why I've really tried to leave this as open to whatever pacing, at whatever time, whatever place they've got to really get this done, which kind of goes back to those foundations of blended learning. So I think that that's a great way to do it over the summer. Then we wrap it up. The last couple of weeks here is only one chapter. So this is going to be big on reflection of the whole book, get some ideas for moving forward. Then the 9th week, we come back together. We've got a district professional development day. This is a 3-hour session. They will get their 3 hours of credit for this session outside of the exchange day credit, which is what I'm really hoping to be a big promotion for attracting a lot of the teachers. In our district, we get 2 exchange days, which means if you attend enough professional development, 6 hours and 6 hours, or a total of 12 hours over the summer, you get 2 set days during the school year where you do not have to come in. So that's a big part of how I'm trying to attract the teachers. On this 3-hour session, I'm hoping to do one more elementary and one more secondary so that we can differentiate a little better into this session. But we're going to come together, have them work together with support to design and create their own blended learning lesson or model around a set of related standards or a particular unit. And they're going to share this out so that I can review it. Hopefully I can get a little help from my peers depending on how big this is. It's a large district for me to handle solo, but we'll see. And they'll share the outline or plan. They'll give us an opportunity, or myself an opportunity, to look at it, give them some feed forward before they get to the implementation phase. From there, the expectation is that they're going to go test this out. They're going to put it in the field, see how it goes. I will be there. Hopefully, my peers will be there to attend planning sessions going forward where we will reflect on what worked, what didn't, talk about different ideas and things that we can do to improve the process. So, again, this is assessment as learning. We continue to work and refine and progress here. They will continue as they go to share those plans. I will continue in turn to give them feed forward and support them however I can, if that includes modeling occasionally, which is something that I do a fair amount in my district, to come in and show them how to use perhaps a new tool, or maybe they just want to, maybe they're doing a station and they have some ideas or some questions and they want to see how something works, or they're uncomfortable. It's a great way to just kind of come in and really help put those teachers at ease and get them built up so that they feel more comfortable in the process. Then I have a second integration where they will go through. This will be after that Authentic Learning Mini PD, which is going to have to be virtual unless I have a very small group. And obviously, I don't have the Meet links and things set up yet. And then we will continue on, kind of like the second 9 weeks of the school year. We will continue on in the same capacity, hopefully continuing to grow and really become more adherent to a to the disciplines of COVA and of blended learning. Finally, we wrap it all up with a survey that I will deliver via Google Form to the students of the teachers who are participating in this professional learning, so that they have a little more information that they can reflect on. I'm still wondering if this isn't a little too late. Maybe I need to do this once earlier on before we get to the second integration, but this is kind of how I'd planned it out. So this is how it sits right now. I'm not saying this is going to be the permanent situation when I get closer to actual implementation of this professional learning, but I would like to at least have one survey done so that the teachers have something to reflect on, and they are then going to take that data, that information, think back about all that they've done, all that they've accomplished, all the growth, all the wonderful things that students are doing, what they're seeing in the classrooms, and create a reflection video about their learning and the process they went through. This will be good feedback for me. I'm also hoping that it'll be a great promotion for future teachers to get excited and interested and invested, hopefully, in blended learning. I'd say that the learner controls the majority of the learning here, because it really is outside of the book study, and of course that's their own interpretation, it's their own pace. So much of this professional learning involves their own creation and a little bit of feed forward and reflection throughout. So the majority of the design of the class is very much learner centered. They control it throughout. I feel that it's going to be deeper learning because of that creation and because of that support that they receive in terms of feed forward. So that's what I have so far. I have also started to create the course itself, though it's just more of an outline. I've got the Start Here section so that those that can't make the kickoff event will find that information there. This is also where I'll include the outline and contact information, things like that. It's modeled actually pretty similarly to what is happening in our Blackboard modules and our Blackboard courses. So I've got it broken down into modules. Within these modules will be the various weeks with discussion boards, with supporting videos, with places to submit plans and outlines so that I can provide them with some feed forward and support them throughout. And that is what I have for my course outline. So for my course outline, for my design, that's what you get.